Once again, I fear I don't have that much to say about this film. Certainly I have less to say about the film itself than I do about the Gamera series as a whole. This film has a plentiful supply of kaiju action. If you want monsters, then they are here. However, I will say that Gyaos does feel very man in a suit in a way that the previous two films didn't. I feel like the design of the previous two movies has meant that we don't get as much of the man in a suit vibes as we do with this film, unfortunately. There's a level of stiffness to Gyaos' design that just wasn't there in the previous two films. The action, while there is a lot of it, can often feel kind of goofy just because of Gyaos' design. Again, it just doesn't lend itself to great action, unfortunately. The goofiness isn't in the fun rock volleyball victory dance kind of way that we see in the Godzilla series either. It's just a more accidental kind of, oh, that looks silly because it's just men in a suit rolling around. And that's a real shame. One thing that does feel distinct about the way that the Gamera series designs its monsters is the way that powers are formed. So far, every monster has had two distinct powers that are completely unrelated from each other. Gamera can breathe fire and fly, Baragon can shoot ice and also rainbows, and Gyaos can... what can Gyaos do? And Gyaos, he can shoot laser beams from his mouth, and he also has smoke tits? I don't really understand the smoke tits thing, but they're here. Gyaos' lasers feel like a fairly basic kaiju power, but they're put to good use here. Unlike Gamera and Godzilla, his beam is far more concentrated and can cut through things like a helicopter like a knife, and that's super neat. One of the more interesting things about the Gamera series as a whole is that whilst it may be aimed more at children, we do get more gore. There's a lot of brutality here. Gamera gets cut hard by Gyaos' beams. There's a lot of blood oozing from every little cut that he gets. The blood may be blue, but there's a lot of it, and it consistently feels brutal. The human story is there. I'll be honest when I say I wasn't paying that much attention to it, but what I was paying attention to didn't make that much sense. A group of people are protesting so that the land they're selling to make way for a road will go up in value or something. I don't really understand that, but then again, I don't really understand economics itself, so maybe it does make sense. Who's to say? There's also a kid here who will end up riding Gamera as he disappointingly flies away, and will end the film waving goodbye to Gamera, because that's children's purpose in these movies. I call Gamera's flight disappointing because it is. I really do miss the animated effect from the first movie. It felt so dynamic and exciting, whereas this just feels kind of limp. He does spin in later flights, but boy howdy does the effect just not work when it is a slow-moving model. The jets of fire that come out of Gamera just aren't directional enough to make it look like they're making Gamera spin, which is fine when they're either faster or drawn, but neither is the case here. All in all, it's a perfectly serviceable kaiju flick with some fun moments but some questionable effects work in places. Next on my list is Son of Godzilla. So, watch that if you want to.